Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
Hello my vintage lovers and welcome back to the vintage series. I'm super excited because today we are doing the 1970s, which is my favorite decade in history for fashion. I'm doing hair, makeup and a few different outfits, so let's get started. Okay, after a bit of fussing with the hair, I decided to add in some clip-in hair extensions, and they were already curled, so I've just brushed them so that the curls are a bit looser, and I'm feeling like we've got a really nice 70s look happening. I'm just going to add some hairspray. This is the John Frieda Luxurious Volume for a full hairspray. First things first, let's start with our base. I am going to use the new Olay Regenerist Glow Day Moisturizer. Now that I've let that moisturizer sink in, I'm going to use my tried and trusted priming combination here, which is the Lottie London Illuminating Coconut Primer and the Revlon Color Stay Endless Glow Liquid Highlight. I like to mix these two together for a really nice glowy base. Right, now foundation. For foundation, I'm going to use my Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. This is in the shade Golden Beige. I'm just going to put this on the back of my hand because I don't want to get any drips and drops on my white satin top. I'm going to use my Cover FX liquid foundation brush. When I apply foundation, I always start in the center of the face. And then once I have my product down, then I'll blend outwards to the edges of my face. And the reason for that is because I just don't want lots of foundation in my hairline. So this foundation is a little bit too dark for me at the moment while I'm not wearing any fake tan, but I'm just going to cheat a tan and I'm just going to take the foundation down my neck and no one has to know.
Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know.
They're gonna know.
How would they know? How would they know? How would they know?
You know, I'd have to say, like, I'm just gonna use a little bit more. When I first got this foundation, I was like, what's the big deal? Like, I don't get why everyone is so obsessed by it. It's just a cheap foundation. And then it's actually been probably my most used foundation that I have, and out of all the foundations I have, this is probably my favorite one. I feel like it's just really long wearing, it gives you nice coverage, it's a really nice finish, and voila, I have a tan. I'm just gonna go over it real quickly with a microfiber sponge and just to smooth out the finish. For concealer, I'm going to use some Tarte Shape Tape. I've really been loving this ever since I got it. I just find it gives really nice coverage and it doesn't crease. I don't need a lot of concealer because the foundation is full coverage. Okay, let's do brows. I'm going to take my Dior Brow Styler. So 1970s eyebrows, there wasn't really like one particular trend. It was kind of either very thinly plucked or very bushy and natural. So I'm just going to go for natural today. I think my favorite way to do my brows at the moment is to take this pencil because it has such a fine tip point, and just kind of get the line that I want underneath. And then once I have that line, then I like to draw in the individual brow hairs, but I don't really want it to be too thick or dense. I really just want it to be I want to be able to see my skin through my eyebrows, you know. I don't want it to be like a thick dark block. And then just brush it through, and I think that looks great. I think that's all we need to do. Now I really want to have that summertime California glow, so I'm going to take my Chanel cream bronzer. I'm really loving this. Ever since I got this from Dubai, I've just been like using it almost every time I do my makeup, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm just going to take a Expert Face Brush by Real Techniques, and I just swirl to pick up a little bit of product inside, and that's all I need for the whole face. I feel like this, out of all the Chanel products I have, I think this is probably the best value. This is massive. I think this will last me, I don't know how long this will last me for. I think this will last me a really long time. Also, the foundation that I got from Chanel, the Ultra Wear All Day Comfort Flawless Finish Foundation. This is really nice too. I think I might actually get this in a summertime shade for when I'm tanned because I really do like it. In the 70s, there was no like contouring or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a bit of bronzer to where the sun would naturally hit my face, just to give me like a nice glow. So that would include the tip of the nose, so I feel like putting a bit of bronzer here, and then I'm just going to do the cheeks as well. Kind of in the place where you would put your blush. In the late 1970s, and that like kind of short era of disco, there was definitely a lot more blush used for contouring. I think it was called draping, but we're not going to do that in this video. We're going to keep it summertime vibes, summertime glow. think like Farrah Fawcett, you know. And I just feel like, oh, I love that look. I'm gonna take some through the forehead as well. So I'm just going to add a teeny tiny bit of blush. This is the NARS, I was going to say Sheer Glow. This is the NARS Orgasm Blush. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of this. It's a powder blush. That Chanel bronzer dries down to a powder, so it's not going to get muddy or anything like that. Because I'm going to be taking pictures, I just want to have nice color in the cheeks. Just a tiny bit, nothing too dramatic. Highlighting wasn't really a thing in the 70s, so I think we'll skip that step. We've added some concealer to brighten under the eye, so I think that's on point. What should we do next? I'm thinking lips. So again, in the 1970s, similar to the 1960s, lipstick was still very pastel. In one of my 1960s videos, I did a pale pastel pink lip. I didn't super love it, so I've got a different lipstick here to try that's like a pastel shade. This is from the Sephora Lip Stories range, and this is in the shade Lip Service, and it's just a really nice cream lipstick, and it's kind of like a light peachy color. I just thought it would look nice with this makeup. Let's try it and see if it looks good. Okay, I think that looks nice. Very 70s. Okay, let's do the eyes. So when I look at 1970s makeup, it was not everyone wore a lot of makeup in the 1970s. I think it was, you know, I think I can definitely see a shift from the dramatic eye looks that people wore in the 1960s, you know, with the twiggy dramatic liner and like the heavy smoky eyes. I think in the 1970s makeup did become a lot more natural. So I'm just going to do a really basic, minimal, soft, smoky brown eye look. So I'm going to be using my very beautiful Kali Bible palette. This is by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I really, really like the shade range in here and the little color story that they have. Yes, it is really well loved. So for the crease, I'm going to take a mixture of Chai and Cindy, and then I'll darken up the outer edge with this shade here, Bowie, and then I think on the lid I'll use this shade here called Moo, because I did notice that like frosty eyeshadows were a look in the 1970s, like on the lid. So these eyeshadows are really, really pigmented, and I just use a really small amount. I just like barely touch them, just very softly, and I just add a little bit of eyeshadow at a time. Okay, that's nice and blended. Now let's add a little bit of drama to the outer edge. I'm taking a smaller blending brush and I'm going in with that brown shade. Press on this outer edge of your eye. So I'm just using a really, really small amount of eyeshadow, and I'm just blending it really well because I don't want there to be any harsh lines or any harsh liner or anything dramatic. I just want it to be very, very subtle. Okay, then on a pencil brush, I'm also going to take that brown shade and just take a tiny little bit, and I'm going to put it on like that outer third of my lower lash line, just to give some like added definition, because I saw in the 1970s that women definitely had some color here. Okay, this is starting to look really nice. I'm just going to clean off my brushes on my microfiber towel. So I'm taking the L'Oreal Matte Signature Eyeliner. This is in brown. I've really been enjoying this eyeliner lately. This is probably the closest thing I found to my Tom Ford one. So just a small wing and just a thin liner across the top. Do you know what I just realized though? I forgot to put that frosty shadow across the lid. So I'm just going to take that now on my finger. This is the shade Moo. I just want to pop on the lid of a like frosty metallic shade. So I just wanted to keep this look really nice and wearable. This isn't like a Halloween costume 70s look. Like this is something that I'm actually going to wear out today. And this is something I would also, if I was working in the city, I'd probably wear this look to work. This makeup look, especially the hair, is extra. So I'm just adding some lashes. I wasn't gonna add lashes, but I just really like the way lashes make my eyes look, especially in pictures. So my trick when adding lashes is to always apply from above and look down into a mirror. So while I wait for the glue to dry on the lashes, I'm just gonna add my gold earrings. And then I think we're finished. Okay, so here is our final hair and makeup look for the 1970s episode of the Vintage series. Okay, so yeah, I think it's time for us to get into the fashion part of this video. So there it is, the 1970s episode of the Vintage series. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found this entertaining. I hope you found it inspirational. The 70s is definitely one of my favorite eras in history for fashion. I love the colors. I love the wide collars. I love the wide legs. I love the wide hair. Everything just got really wide. And I just felt like there's a lot of flair in the 1970s, quite literally. And I love men's and women's fashion, and I tried to incorporate some more androgynous looks in this video. Please like this video, leave me a comment and subscribe to my channel. It means so much to me. I'm going to end the video here. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.